Alright you guys, welcome back to another performance driven video, and this is going to be the partial teardown on my FA24DIT from my 22 WRX. Please bear with me as this is the first time I'm doing an engine teardown, so there won't be much talking, just this part right here. There will be a 12 mil that you'll have to use to take off all of these top bolts here. I used the breaker bar because I just didn't want to play around. I've seen people use drills and I'm not for that, so I used the breaker bar, broke all these top bolts loose first, and then got to business. And now it's time to remove the cam caps. Now when removing these cam caps, there is a place to pry. Thankfully, these cam caps have dowels, or whatever you would like to call them. So in order to pry these up, they have to be at an even level in order for them to come all the way out. As you guys can tell, this is 100% the first time I've ever encountered or done anything like this. Now I'm just going to show you guys what everything looks like as I'm taking it apart. So just bear with me because, you know, it's the first time for everything. I can say that this has a lot of RTV or whatever the gasket maker is for this. I think it's the 3-bond, so it is a bit of a headache to get those out because there's a shit ton of it everywhere. Everything, and I mean everything, went into bags, got labeled, and put into a specific place. So if you do wind up doing this, I would recommend doing the same, or getting a box and putting the bolts in the box in the same orientation and all that extra good stuff. Again, these middle caps have dowels or whatever you want to call them, and you have to lift those up. Those came up pretty easy. That bolt had to come out right there in order for that top piece to come off, and it came off super easy after that bolt was out. So if you do happen to come across this, that bolt has to So at this point, I'm just putting the bolts back in so I know orientation and I know what's what, and then we get to moving along and taking the cams out. At this point too, I realized these cams are actually heavier than I thought they were going to be. I don't know why I thought they would be a little lighter, but they are actually pretty heavy. happened to be, I think, 6 bolts or something like that. This was fairly easy to get off as well. They do have a place for you to pry on the back end here. You'll see it in a few, so just be easy. At this point, I didn't realize I didn't crack these 2 loose, so I just cracked them loose real quick. Thank you guys for watching another performance-driven video, and have a blessed day.